Hey guys, so today we are looking at something called complex fractions. They're also sometimes called compound fractions, right? And this is basically just when you have a fraction inside of a fraction. So as you kind of look at these, hopefully you can see that there's like this one really big division bar that kind of splits this into two halves. So this is the numerator of our big fraction, and then this down here is the denominator of our big fraction. Okay, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to simplify each of these, the numerator and the denominator. And then after you do that, then you'll simplify the whole thing together. All right, so for this particular example, the numerator obviously is all set. I'm just going to recopy that part because I don't have anything to combine. All right, but then the denominator, I'm going to have to add these together. That requires common denominators. So I'm going to multiply this side by 4, top and bottom, and this side by x, top and bottom. Okay, and then hopefully you can kind of do this mental math. This is going to multiply to x, that's going to multiply to 8. So when I combine them together, I'm going to get x plus 8 over 4x. Okay, so that's the combined denominator there. And then once you've figured that part out, remember that fractions are just division, right? All that a fraction is it's saying take this thing up here and divide it by that thing down there. Well, how do we divide fractions? You leave the first one the same, you change it to multiplication, and then you flip the second one. And now from here, you guys have been working on this. Check for anything that's going to cancel, which in this case, this x will cancel with that x. And my answer when I'm done with that, on the top, I'm going to have 12, and on the bottom, I'll have x plus 8. Okay, and that's it. The 12 and the 8 don't simplify at all because there's nothing that's a common factor of the entire numerator and the entire denominator that will simplify. Okay, so that's it for that guy. All right, looking ahead to the next one. Okay, so here's my numerator. And again, I'm kind of just looking for that big fraction bar in the middle. That's how I know where to split it. Okay, so I'm going to simplify each part separately. This part, I have to multiply top and bottom by 5 here and by 3 here to get my common denominator of 15. Watson, honey. Sorry, the mailman's coming by again. So this is going to multiply to 3x. That multiplies to 10. So it'll be 3x plus 10 on the top and then 15 on the bottom. Watson. And then for my denominator, this guy I'm making into a fraction. I'm going to stick a 1 underneath it, right? And then I will multiply this side actually by nothing. This side I'm going to have to multiply by 3 top and bottom. So that's going to be 12 plus x, which I'm going to write as x plus 12 over 3. Just so that I have, everything is in the right order. Okay, and then again, to simplify that, all that we're going to do is you keep the top part the same, change it to multiplication, and then flip the second part. And then from there, I'm again just looking for anything that's a common factor that'll cancel. This 3 and 15 have a common factor of 3 that I can cancel out. Nothing's going to cancel here. And then multiplying straight across 3x plus 10 and then 5 times x plus 12. You can multiply that out if you wanted to. You do not have to. Okay. All right. Third example, numerator all set, already simplified. Denominator I need to simplify. I'm going to have to multiply this side by x plus 1. And this side by 3. Watson, it's okay. There's Watson. Sorry, that's super sideways. There he is, barking out the window. His collar's in the washing machine right now, so he's a little naked. Hopefully no one's delicate sensibilities are offended there. All right, so anyway, top part here, 3 over x plus 1. And then on the bottom, let's see, I'm going to have 6 on this side and then x plus 1 over here. So I'm going to have x plus this 6, that 1, 7. And my denominator, I'm not going to bother to multiply that out just yet. Watson. Okay, so keep the first part the same, 3 over x plus 1, change it to multiplying, flip the second one, And then again, look for any common factors that you have that will cancel. In this case, the x plus 1s will cancel. The 3's don't cancel because they're on the same level with each other. So that's going to multiply to 9 and then x plus 7. And there we go. All right, this guy down here, numerator, all set. Denominator, so simplifying this guy, I'm going to have to multiply this side by x minus 2 and this side by x plus 1. Okay, so top part's going to stay the same. So that'll be 4 over x minus 2. And then for the bottom part, doing some steps in my head here, this will multiply out to x plus 1. This is going to be 3x minus 6. So 1x from here, 3x from there, that's 4 x's. 1 from here, and then a minus 6. So 1 minus 6 is negative 5. And then on the bottom, I'm not going to bother to multiply that out. Deal with that after. Keep the top part the same. Change it to multiplication. Flip the second part. Okay, and then you can see this is why we didn't bother to multiply it out, right? Because this will cancel with that. And if we had multiplied this part out, then I'd have to refactor it again here. And that's just a waste of everyone's time. So that's going to work out to 4 times x plus 1 over 4x minus 5. Okay, and again, you can multiply it out. You don't have to. All right, this guy here. I'm going to combine these two together. So I'm going to have to multiply this side by x and this side by x plus 1. There's no way to change an x into an x plus 1 when you're getting common denominators. That's not a thing. Like you can't like add 1 to top and bottom to somehow make this happen. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so you're going to have to multiply by the entire term. So on this side, it's going to give me 4x plus 4 plus another 6x. So that'll be 10x plus 4 over x times x plus 1. And then for my denominator, this is a 5 over 1, so I'm going to have to multiply this side by x plus 1, top and bottom, right? So that'll give me 5x plus 5 minus 3. So that's 5x, and then 5 minus 3 is negative 2. And denominator will be x plus 1. So keep the top part the same. Change it to multiplication. Flip the second one. Okay, and then when you look at this, you're like, oh, these guys cancel, and then that's it. That's not it, okay? Because notice this guy has a common factor of 2, right? So I can actually factor out that common factor of 2. Oh, and then this is the part where if we were in class, you would have pointed out my mistake to me before, right? This would be a positive 5 minus 3. This should have been a positive 2. Man, where are you guys when I need you to correct my mistakes? But we can still factor this guy, right? It's got a common factor of 2, 5x plus 2, and there's that term that will cancel. So my final answer here, I'm left with just the 2 on the top and the x on the bottom. Okay, so once you get everything to this point here, always still check and see if something will factor, because sometimes they will. All right, this guy here, so top part, this is a 2 over 1, so I'm going to have to multiply this side by x minus 2, right? So this would be 2x minus 4 plus the 3, so that would be 2x, and then 3 minus 4, negative 1. My denominator's x minus 2. And then for the bottom part, I'm going to have to multiply, let's see, this side by x minus 2, and this side by 3, right? Okay, so lots of mental math here. This is going to give me a 6x. Over here, that'll give me a 2x, so that's 8x. This side's going to give me a negative 9. That's going to give me a negative 4, so that's a negative 13. And then 3 times x minus 2. Okay, so again, keep the top part the same. Change it to multiplying. Flip the second part. All right, and then these guys will cancel. And I think that's it, right? These guys aren't going to factor. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply the top and make that 6x minus 3, just because it's just a 3. But again, It's not really something I'd probably take points off for. Okay, so complex fractions, they look really scary. They're really not that bad. You guys can totally handle this. I'm going to make a separate video for these types of problems because mostly you're going to be dealing with those on our next workday.